The practice that you get from training really does help. It makes things a lot more effortless when you're going into a situation where there may be alcohol or drugs in a room, and you're just wanting to go in there and do your job.
I had to deal with quite a few discipline violations right starting at the beginning of the year. That is the time that you are so unprepared for it right off the start of being HP, so it's really hard. So I had to give 2 Class C violations in the first weekend of school.
But honestly, it's easier in the beginning because you are like, this is my job and I got to do this stuff. And then as it gets farther down the year, you're just like, you don't have that go-to spirit.
If you've actually had a conversation with them, if you've talked with them, if you've told them, you know, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to follow the rules, you know, that kind of stuff, then if they do break a rule, and then you have that conversation to go back to and say, you know what, this isn't my fault for enforcing the violation, or this isn't my fault for enforcing the rules or whatever. It's actually your fault because we've had this discussion.
I think when it comes to finding friends or giving fines out in general, I know for me I feel it's more important to tell the people why they're getting the fine and step them through what they're doing wrong, instead of just slapping them with the fine and just handing it out that way.
I was really nervous going into it because I didn't know how she would feel at me coming to her as a disciplinarian and as a friend. And it ended up that she was nervous too, and the next day she apologized and said, you know, I shouldn't have done that to you. And so that really changed my idea of how I was going to confront my friends.
I think that it was, as a student, it was a very scary thing to think that I was going to have to discipline people in my house. And it was almost easier, I felt, to discipline people on other floors because you didn't have that, you know, you didn't have to maintain a relationship with them. I had built up in my head that, like, going and dealing with discipline would be this huge, like, scary thing. And then in the end, like, I thought, you know what, I have a relationship with you and you're my friend and I care about you beyond just having this, you know, incident with you.
Writing your first fine is scary. Oh, I don't want to be like that horrible person and so, oh, you did this bad thing, so I'm gonna have to give you a fine, and you have to be like this authority figure for the first time. It's scary. Once you've done it, you feel better, like, okay, I can do this now. Like, if I have to do it again, no big deal.
It's not something that you want to do, but it comes with the job, and you go into this role knowing that you're going to have to do that, and sometimes those people that you find or write up are your friends, and that's just part of the job, and it comes with the territory.
The very first time I got to write a fine, I was so happy. So much fun. I don't know, I like writing fines. Room searches, those are a little awkward.
I'm trying to remember my first room search. I've done a few, but it was definitely nerve-wracking. But the good thing is that you're not alone. You have your hall director or fellow HP with you to kind of help you along the way. Picking up on the free information is key, and just kind of watching body language and looking at eyes, seeing nervous movements here and there.
One thing that I've found is that just because you haven't had to deal with a lot of discipline or a lot of problems, it doesn't mean that you're a bad HP. It might just mean that the women on your house are not as dramatic as women on other houses.